Hi guys, I am Dr. Shambhu Yadav, a neuroscientist and a stress biologist from Harvard Medical School. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that everything you want in your life, your goals, your success, your energy, your confidence, comes down to the habit your brain repeats every single day. Not once in a while, not only on good day, every day. The truth is, your brain is continuously learning, continuously reshaping your brain, continuously creating new neuronal pathway based on things you do most consistently. And that means your future isn't shaped by motivation or your talent. It's shaped by the signals you send to your brain. And today, I want to take you on a journey deep inside your brain so you can understand how to build habits that stick longer, how to stay motivated without forcing yourself, how to stay calm under pressure and stress, and how to transform your identity so you can become the person you know capable of being. Let's begin with one of the most misunderstood chemicals in human being, that is dopamine. Most people think that dopamine is pleasure molecule, something that makes you feel good. But the neuroscientists now know something far interesting. That dopamine isn't about just pleasure molecule, it's about pursuit. It's the chemical that makes you want to take action. The moment you initiate any task, no matter how small or how big, your brain releases a small pulse of dopamine. And that pulse tells your nervous system, this feels good, do it again. And that's why starting small is so powerful. When you read one page of your book, your brain rewards you. When you do one push-up, your brain rewards you. When you open your laptop to work for just 30 seconds or 1 minute, your brain rewards you. You activate the very chemical that drives motivation. Most people wait to feel motivated before they begin anything. But the neuroscience shows the opposite. Motivation follows action. Your brain is designed to reward progress, not perfection. But the real magic happens when you know when your brain learns something best. Every day, your brain goes through the natural cycle where certain systems turn on and others quiet down. And two moments, just after waking up and just before falling asleep, are like powerful gateways for learning and habit formation. In the first minute after waking, cortisol rises naturally. Attention and the ability to encode new information. And this is a perfect time for tiny habit. 1 minute of stretch, a few lines of the reading, a few deep breaths, a quick intention for the day. It doesn't have to be long, it just need to be consistent. Right before sleep, the hippocampus becomes active as brain prepares to consolidate memory. When you repeat even a smallest version of a habit, this window, like reviewing your goals for a moment, journaling a sentence, tidying your space, visualizing tomorrow, you are giving your brain a signal. This matters. Keep going. And these signals are powerful because your brain is in a state where it naturally strengthens neuronal connection. You're not fighting your brain biology, you are working with it. But habits don't form through effort alone. Habits form through rhythm. And one rhythm that your brain is continuously following is the natural rise and fall of focus. What scientists call ultradian cycles. Your brain can deeply focus for limited amount of time before the prefrontal cortex, the center of discipline and decision making, begin to tire. It doesn't matter how smart or motivated you are, this is a biology. The brain needs short breaks. When you work in a cycle of focus followed by brief rest, your brain consolidates what you just learned, reset your energy and prepare for next round. Reset is not the opposite of productivity. Reset is part of the productivity, and most people don't realize this, so they push themselves until they mentally crash. But when you break tasks into short bursts with a small, intentional pauses, the brain stays fresh, your discipline stays intact, and your habits have a much better chance of becoming long-term. Of course, none of this works if your brain is overwhelmed with stress. When stress rises too high, the amygdala, the brain alarm system, takes over, and the prefrontal cortex goes off. That's why you suddenly lose motivation, lose discipline, or lose clarity when you are going through immense stress. But neuroscience gives us a powerful tools to calm the nervous system within seconds, and that is called physiological sigh. It's a natural breathing pattern your body uses when crying or trying to regain composure. You take one deep inhale through one nose, when second smaller inhale to fully inflate the lungs, and then you release long, slow exhale through your mouth. 2 or 3 of these breaths are enough to quiet the amygdala, reduce internal pressure, and restore the brain ability to think clearly. When your nervous system relaxes, your habits become easier to follow because the part of your brain that controls discipline comes back online. But there is still one more layer, and this is the most powerful part of all. Your habits are not just shaped by your behavior, they are shaped by your identity, by the story you tell yourself about who you are. Your brain has what's known as self-representation network, a collection of circuits that construct your sense of self. If your identity is built on the belief like I am not consistent, I am not disciplined, or I always fail, then your brain will subconsciously behave in a way that matches that identity. Not because you are weak, but because your brain is wired to avoid internal conflict. It wants your action to match your belief. And that's why real changes happens not when you force yourself to behave differently, but when you gradually adopt a new identity. You don't need to lie to yourself or pretend to be someone you are not. You simply need to shift your self-talk towards who you are becoming. Instead of saying, I want to exercise, try to say, I take care of my body. Instead of, I want to be more focused, say, I am becoming a focused person. Instead of, I am always procrastinating, say, I am learning to take action sooner. Each tiny behavior you repeat becomes evidence for this new identity. And over time, the identity becomes stronger and habit become automatic. So when you think about self-improvement, think beyond the discipline and willpower. Think about the brain you are working with. Think about the signal you are sending it every day. When you start with tiny action, you activate dopamine and build motivation. When you practice a brain's natural learning window, you strengthen habit with less effort. And when you work in cycle of focus and rest, you engage your brain natural stress through your breath. You allow the rational mind to regain control. And when you reshape your identity, you shift the very core of your behavior from the inside out. You don't have to change your entire life overnight. You just need to understand how your brain actually works. Self-improvement becomes easier when you stop fighting your biology and start aligning with it. Because once you work with your brain instead of against it, everything becomes lighter, easier. Everything becomes more achievable and everything becomes more sustainable. This is the science of habit formation. This is the neuroscience of self-improvement, and this is the beginning of your transformation. Thanks for watching and see you in the next episode.